Chinese EV maker BYD beats Tesla in quarterly revenue for the first time as net profits jumps, okay? Now we're noticing two stories like that, okay? So what is this story all about? So BYD automaker Tesla in quarterly revenue for the first time posting 201 billion won, which is 28 billion in US dollars in Q3 compared to Tesla's 25.2. BYD's net profits rose 11.5% to 11.61, which is roughly 1.63 billion, driven by high sales in China, supported by government subsidies and trade and incentives for greener cars. BYD's Q3 success was led by plug-in hybrid sales, which surged 75.6% to 685,000 units. However, its pure EV sales grew 2.7%. As a lost EV market share to other Chinese competitors, BYD accounted for over one-third of Chinese EV and plug-in hybrid sales, aided by subsidies up to $2,100 per trade and local government incentives of up to 20,000 won. Expanding overseas, BYD increases its exports by 33%, reaching 95,000 cars sold abroad in Q3 and revisited its total to 450,000 vehicles 2023. Tom.
So there's a couple of things going on here. In the United States, there's been a trend over the last 2 years that when people are buying new cars, EVs cost a little bit more than hybrids. And with gas moving down artificially, suddenly a hybrid electric costs less to buy, and you get a lot of the benefits of having an electric car and paying a lot less because you're not filling up the tank with gasoline every week. You're using electricity. So there's been a shift in the U.S. on that. Also, it is a fact that it's been harder to find places to charge your electric car in the United States in terms of offices and malls because we need more EV outlets, which is why our U.S. federal government was trying to build EVs and why, Secretary Pete caught a lot of hell for what he spent $2 billion and how would it be built 7 chargers or something? It was ridiculous. What was spent versus what was actually installed. And then China has been playing the long game, and BYD has been they've been several models. Now they have like 5 models that are out there, and they've been exporting a lot, and they've actually been making particular traction in Europe. So they make a little more traction in Europe on market share versus Tesla. Other Chinese automakers have been kind of competing with BYD for subsidies in China. Like the government says, hey, there's this much money for subsidies, and suddenly BYD doesn't get all of it because other competitors are with them. And so basically it's a more competitive global market, and Tesla has, had challenges in the U.S. market versus hybrids, and it makes for a nice headline to say, the Chinese beat Tesla on quarterly revenue, says Reuters, who loves to print anything negative about Elon Musk. So it may be true, but they love to pick on Musk.
Yeah. And by the way, this is happening without them even being in the States. Mm-hmm. And does BYD have anything to do with the Hofusan plant they were planning on building in Mexico, Tom?
Ooh.
So, Rob, pull up to see if BYD, Hofusan, Mexico. Mexico has risen. Mexico stalling. It is.
That's exactly right.
That's what it is. So BYD's electric vehicle expanding operation in Mexico, including the Hofusan industrial. There you go. BYD announced plans. Okay. So now you got to realize, apparently, if I'm not mistaken, President Trump, when he was here 2 weeks ago, he said they've put this on pause. Rob, can you verify it? Because this story is from July. So Mexico let's see what this one is here. Mexico's Shine Bomb, the race is on to harness nearshoring. Yeah, I'm trying to find out if this Hofusan plan is being done or it's put on halt or not. If it is, because of I think Biden was giving $7,500 tax credit, cars coming here from Mexico, and then Mexico is growing. I'm just trying to see if this Hofusan plant is put on stop, put on halt, or no.
And I thought there were some U.S. makers that also said they were putting something on hold. It was a ginormous factory. We saw pictures of it like in the hills, and it was ginormous. And they said, well...
Okay, there it is. I just found it. China. Okay, I found it, Rob. If you can pull this up. There it is. Pull the story up that I just sent to you. This story will tell you what they're doing. Very interesting. So President Trump, when he was on, and he said they're going to put it on pause until after U.S. elections is true. Watch this. China's BYD pauses Mexico factory plans until after U.S. elections. I wonder why. Mexico could be a key production site for BYD, along with plants it is building or already operating in Brazil, Hungary, Turkey, Thailand. Go a little lower, Rob. China's top electric BYD will not announce a major planned investment in Mexico until after the U.S. election, according to people familiar with the matters of global. BYD was scouting 3 locations for car production facility in Mexico, but has stopped, actively looking for now. Several of the people said asking not to be identified, discussing information. This is private. Well, it's out now. Sure. The postpone is largely because BYD would prefer to wait to see the outcome of the race between U.S. President Trump and Kamala Harris. They added that BYD's pause factory may still be revived or could change. This, in other words, has not postponed. And then they said, BYD said in a statement to Bloomberg that it has not postponed a decision on a factory in Mexico. We continue working to build a factory with the highest technological standards for the Mexican market, not for the United States market, nor for the export market. For BYD, the Mexican market is very relevant. Okay, you either believe them or you don't, right? However, they know if Trump comes in, Trump's going to be making their life a living hell. But if Kamala's there, they're going to say, well, we can negotiate with her, no problem.
China also plays the long game. So they'll say, hey, listen, build the factory, only build cars for Mexico. Tell everybody it's all about the Mexican market. Right. Someday there'll be a U.S. president not named Trump.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
Quick thought. I mean, Pat, you really got me like acting like a Forex trader. Now we're talking about Russian rupees out here. We get the Chinese yuan. We get the Mexican peso. I'm doing all this math here, but it just tell me, Pat, if I'm going somewhere with this, how many years ago did we interview the guy, The Confessions of an Economic Hitman? What was his name again?
4 years ago.
Okay. And what's the easiest way to destroy a country? Through debt, right? So China goes all around the world, basically saddling countries with debt. I think in Africa alone, that's a couple $100 billion that countries like Zambia and Angola and Kenya owe China. Every country in Africa, for the most part, owes China all this massive amount of money because they're mining cobalt and lithium and
natural
nickel
resource
and copper,
collateral,
all this stuff for EVs. And it just, all these stories make me wonder, how accurate is this? How much is the media going against Elon? Because we covered in the last story about, is Truth Social worth more than X? I would highly doubt that. But you said something interesting to Piers Morgan, which was a fascinating conversation yesterday. And you said, right now, Trump is the number one enemy. But if and when he gets elected, you said you prioritize J.D. Vance.
No, Musk has won.
Musk won, J.D. Vance,
Trump
then
3.
Trump.
Yep.
So it's interesting. But basically, once Trump gets elected, they're like, I'll let you summarize this. He has 4 years. JD has 8. But Elon's got another 40 years of success around the world. And he's aligned himself with Trump camp, obviously. And the interview that he did with Tucker, he sort of said, if Trump loses, like, you're effed. And he's like, oh, yeah, I know. Yeah. So I don't know what to make of all these stories, but I would not be shocked if the media is basically using these stories to basically bring down Elon and Trump.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I think it's going to be a very clear focus they'll have going after them. Let me tell you what we're doing for the first time. We want you to come join us on the podcast, either here or Zoom in 15, 20 minutes to give us your thoughts, except you have to get something right. Here's what it is. Number one, this is the contest. Go to vtnews.ai. When you go to vtnews.ai, Rob, if you can just go there. If you go to vtnews.ai, go to the election side to the right. Just think about picking, March Madness does what? Picking the brackets, right? You go in to vtnews.ai. You see Zoom in right there, Rob, where you get to pick whatever the states are, red, blue, and with the numbers change on the top right, Rob, so they can see it. Go right there. You see how the numbers are changing? You pick your bracket. Whatever way you think it's going to end up being on election night, okay? Once you pick your numbers, you see right above it where it says upgrade to submit your prediction. You click on that. Go for it. You have to become a premium or a VT Insider, either one of them. Choose $4.99 a month or $19.99 a month. That's going to give you unlimited access to the AI. Whichever one you choose to do, we will receive your bracket prediction. Whoever is the first to do so, that wins. We're either going to invite you on a Zoom to be on a podcast with us after everything is done with, and you'll be here with the boys on PBD Podcast. Or if you choose to get your flight, come on down. You'll be with us. You're sitting right next to us, telling us how you came to the conclusion of your perfect bracket. But again, to compete, go to vtnews.ai. PBD.ai. Go get one of these memberships. Choose your brackets, how you think it's going to end. And then once you do so, we'll have it. And by the way, if you're that confident enough, post it on Twitter under my handle so we can save it there as well. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.